So again, thanks to God that I'm able to share and you are able to listen. So today's my topic is I want to start this Swift programming language. So I'll select Xcode Playground first, and as I committed till whatever learning will be there in Swift, we'll just use this Xcode Playground only. Then we'll proceed on the uh, uh, project creation on the next section 3. So in the section 2 only we'll go with the Swift basic fundamentals. In the last scenario, if you are not aware about the protocol oriented programming, then you can just visit on my last tutorial. Over there we covered like what is a protocol oriented programming and how Swift is working over there. Now we can just take one blank page, Xcode simple playground, and which will be a platform will be iOS, Mac OS and TV OS is also there, but I'm selecting iOS. I'm starting from scratch. So this will be my playground and it will be on my desktop. Once it will come here, I'll just delete everything from here and I'll set it like this. What is my target for this learning, right? So I will do it with command A plus command / so it will comment. Then what will happen, I want to tell you, like this is my 2.2.3 chapter which I'm just explaining you, and in this session I'll explain you quickly and very strongly like what is a variable declaration in Swift, which is a section 2.2.3 point, right? So in this thing we'll cover everything like how you can just declare a variable into Swift in different style, right? So everything as much as I wanted to cover, I covered it, so that like you can be comfortable in all aspects, as interview wise, as learning wise, at everywhere. So you should be passionate about your learning. So whatever I have I can give you. So like we can start from starting point. Like number one is saying let and where properties, right? What is a let keyword and where keyword? We know very well, like let means constant and where means variable. So like whatever value, whatever thing you will create as a let, it will never ever change again, right? If you want to change the values. Before this I want to add something here. Like if you want to print something, then there is a print expression is available into Swift over there. Like you can print whatever you want to print, and inside this print, like you can just print like hey, something like this, and this will print over there in console. If you don't aware about the Xcode playground, you can check my last previous videos. Over there I explain everything about each button and its functionality, right? What is a debug consoler, and what is a fast forward console which is giving you result here, right? So now this is a print, and inside the print, like if you want to print some special things like some variables or some integer or something like that, you need to do backward slash, and you need to create small braces, and you can just print like this, some integer, some another values that will come here. It's a simple thing, right? For the printing I want to explain you why, because I'll use this now. I want to tell you like what is a let and where property. So if you will go and just try to create the let keyword, automatically like suggestions will come at the down of this let. And if you will go there and learn these things properly, then it will say you like create a variable that cannot be changed, right? So Swift is very beautiful language. It is coming with all the comments and everything. You just need to explore, right? You will explore it properly and things will be there. So also they are just declaring some code snippet as well. So this code snippet, if you don't aware about the syntax, you can just use them, right? And if you are getting some problem to automatic suggestion will not come, then you can just use your escape at the top right side keyboard button. Escape is there, it will come. Will able to generate this automatic suggestions again and again. Okay, so let, that means right now it is saying like declare my variable name, like it is a name, and the value, like I will just write iOSCoder like that. And in this, like Swift is saying I'll take care automatically typecasting, right? Automatic typecasting, like this is a string, then it will convert into as a string. So if you want to see, if you will go there and if you will check with the if, like my name is string or not, and if it will print something like yeah I am a string, right? Yes I am, then it will be a string, that yes I am a string. So how it determined, so before in previous version it was we need to give the we were giving the type. Now it is in 5.3 and 5.4, and like from 3 itself they just changed it, and now you can just you don't need to give the type, and it will directly take the type, right? But like in some other scenarios, if you want to give some type for the type generic presentation and all, then you can just give like that string. Also I'm telling you that this is a string, and please take care and just give with a equal operator, assignment operator, we can just create it as a stored property. This value will be a iOS coder, right? So now I'm deliberately telling it like it's a string property, right? It's a string property, and once I'll just do something else here, it will give me error. So this is a proper syntax, like let the name of the property, then type, and then equal uh, operator, assignment operator, and then you can just give your value, whatever value will be there, right? So now if you want to change the name, if you want to change iOS coder to Java coder, then it will not come, like it will say you like cannot assign to value name is a let constant, right? So it will give you a two type of error as well. Swift is giving two type of error. One is fixer and another is a compiler error, which is really truly wrong, right? So if suppose I'm just using it integer, if I'm giving the type integer deliberately and I'm passing some some string value, then what will happen, something will come here, and that is saying I'm not a fixer, I am a 100% error and cannot convert value of type string to specify type integer. So you need to love the errors. Those errors are two types. One is a compiler error and another is a fixer error, that is also a compiler error, but you will able to fix it, right? So you can fix it and it will automatically convert into let to where, and whatever thing was there, like it was there into the string, and now you can change the Java developer, right? One more thing I want to tell you here, close syntax is coming, but if you want to run only this line, then you can play it till here only, right? Then it will print the iOS coder only. If you want to go there, then it can print like that. Okay, now this is the difference between where and let. What property declaration is there, we understood. Now I want to tell you, like the number second is saying let with class and let with struct instance, right? So two types are also there. I want to explore, I want to tell you, like one is a struct and another is a class, right? Struct A is a class, there is a variable name property, and this is a string, and this is also a iOS coder, right? And now I'm just closing this. We can expand and close the this code as well. If you will go to your Xcode preference, and over there, like you will see one text editor will be there, code folding ribbon will be there, right? So if you will do like if you will uncheck it, you will not able to do this, right? Once you will check it, you can do this for the long functions and long classes, right? So by this, like you can troubleshoot over there, like what my code is going proper or not, like mistakes can be generated by us, right? So this we can, this ribbon is very useful in lengthy codes. Now in the struct, like struct is a value type. Now I'll tell you in brief, like I'm going very briefly so that you can be champion over there at the end. So value type, and the class will be a reference type, right? So the class syntax is same like this encapsulation into the inheritance. So it's a reference type, and this class is a reference type, and it is a class, right? A class, and it's a struct, right? So now it's a class and it's a struct. Now what I want to tell you here, like let keyword with class and struct instance, how it will work, right? So suppose if I will go there and into this struct a, I'll create a let suppose I'll create a let object of a struct, right? And a struct object will be there, and that is let keyword. Now the property is variable, right? And it can be flexible, right? But like you will see, object dot name is equals to, I want to change from iOS to Java coder, it will stop me there, right? It will stop me there. Cannot assign to property object, is it a let constant? Then you will ask me like why it is coming like this, because this variable name property is a variable, so it can be flexible. No, if you are just making a let constant to a struct, then it will hold its existing all properties as well, right? Nested properties, it will not allow you to change those properties as well, right? So you can fix that thing like that. You can just create your structure object as a variable also, then it will allow you to change into name whether it is variable or not, right? That is a one thing, very important thing. And the second thing I want to tell you is the same object, if I want to create into my classes, they are pretty friendly, and they can you can able to uh, this you can just able to change its name, right? From iOS to Java coder, right? So like that you can proceed and check it out and explore the Swift. It's pretty easy, and we need to love the errors as well. So if you will see now, object change name is as a Java coder now, right? So that was a pretty cool and pretty strong example, like let in the class and struct as well. I'll explain you value type and reference type in future, don't worry about these things. Now we can proceed further, because our target is variable declaration, understanding and learning of variable declaration in this session. Okay, so what generally people say, like what is the optional property declaration and if let feature and breaking optional chaining and all, right? So I'm just doing this nicely. uh, so I'm just comparing two things here, like I'm comparing two things here, what is a question mark and what is a fixed value, right? So it is saying implicitly unwrapped optional, right? Implicitly unwrapped optional is denoted by this symbol, and the optional keyword is denoting by this question mark, right? Optional means it can be optional, no issue will be there, right? It 100% value will not available over there, right? So I'm quickly telling you how it will work, right? So if suppose you have a value, simple, you have a value, right? You like like a server is there, and you are just asking it for user detail, and there is a email address is a variable, and I'm pretty I'm not sure about this email whether it will come or not. Then I need to make it optional property into my model, right? So whether if something will come, then it's pretty fine. If something will not come, then it will deliberately go there and just assign as a nil. Okay, so the optional value have a object which is nil, so into the memory, into the heap, nil is assigning for the optional values once values will not occur over there, and once the variable will not get the value, right? On that time nil will assign over there. So it's pretty fine. If nil is assigning and we are not pretty sure about the properties, like whether they will filled or not, then we can just tell them as a optional values, right? Optional variables. Otherwise, if I know the things, like yeah, something is there 100%, and yeah, that will come 100%, then I can just make it implicitly unwrapped, right? So I can just get it out from the optional chaining as well. I'll tell you like how it will work and why it is required, this implicitly unwrapped, right? So suppose I have a variable, I have a class user detail, right? And this class have a variable called email. So much variables can be there, but I'm creating right now this one only. Okay, this is a user detail variable which is an optional email address, email. And if I want to create the class initializer, that also I can just create the email initializer as well. But like if you are just, if you will put this as a, one more thing I want to tell you, like here, like email will be asd@gmail.com, something like that. But yeah, I want to tell you, like here what will happen, this is a initializer. If something will not come over there, it will by default fill this one through this initializer, right? But I don't want it right now here, because I'll explain you later. Don't go there. I want to tell you this power, like what is this. So user detail, that means user detail have a optional variable property email. We are not sure about the server side, like whether it will come or not. So by default it will, if I will print this object, so if I will create let obj of let user of, directly I can just create. Now we know very well it will directly take, because Swift is pretty strong to identify the typecasting. So then I want to print the user detail value. So if I will check the email, if I will check the email, then it will give me nil value, right? Nil is that doesn't mean like it is not stored into memory. It's deliberately going there as a object. So nil is a instance, like the object value is there as a nil, which is going into the heap, and it is coming as a nil object, right? Nil value. So it is initialized as a nil. If what I want to tell you, if I will not give this optional, then it will ask me to give its value to the store property. Are you able to see? Class user detail has no initializer. You did not initialize. So once you will fix this, it will able to initialize, and it will say, hey, give the value of give the value to this string. So now we gave the value to this string, and error will vanish, right? So it's forcing us. So that means the question mark internally, it's giving a nil value to this email, and then it's satisfied and it is not giving you the error, right? So like that it is working. Now after this, like I want to tell you, like I have a variable property, and this user is a user detail, and this is also a optional, right? This is also optional. Now it will say, hey, value of optional type user detail must be unwrapped, right? Implicitly unwrapped. You remember I just explain you like what is the implicitly unwrapped, right? So implicitly unwrapped optional, that means I'm forcing to this user, like, yeah, I know very well something is not there. So something will be there, and don't worry, I'll take care of it, and some value will be there, and that value will be a iOS coder value for this email. So what I need to do, I need to say, hey user, try to understand, right? And I know I'm just going to print this, and you are also initializing. I'm pretty sure that you are also initializing, and I'm just printing this, right? So if I want to print this, like suppose I want to print this, then user, then question mark, then email, right? So user question mark, that means I'm not pretty sure about this user, whether the object is created or not, but I'm pretty sure about the email address, like it have some value. So what I will do, I will do this implicitly unwrapped, right? Implicitly unwrapped will tell me, like expression implicitly curves from string to any. It can be like warning is there, right? But in our case, like I know, yeah, it can be, but man, I just done both the things. I created the object, and I created the email string value as well, right? So no worry about these things. Optional value I don't want. I want a perfect value, so I'm just unwrapping it, right, through this fixed keyword. But what will happen if value will not there, right? If value is not there, then what will happen, that I want to check, right? So it is saying, hey, you done a big mistake over there. What you are doing, like you are just stopping, you are just printing the value which doesn't have any value, right? Printing a variable which doesn't have any value, and you are forcing, and you are saying, and you are overconfident, like yeah, value is there, right? So that means that can give you, that can harm you, right? So you are forcing to print email, and you are knowing that yeah, something is there and 100% it is there, so don't worry about this thing, and I'm just going to print. Then it give you crash. It gave you crash. Why? Because value is not there. So because this is, because of this is very dangerous. So why implicitly unwrapped came in between? Because if you will see, like there is a question mark of user object. This is the optional value as well. Now email is also optional value. I need to get a absolute value rather than optional value, right? So if you will print this, like this thing and this thing, then uh, you will see like if value will be there, a something will be there, then it will come into the optional thing, right? It will come into the optional thing, right? It will come into the optional thing, right? So here it's coming, this is wrapped with the optional thing, right? So I want to get it out from this. That's why I need to do if let statement, which is here I declare like optional property declaration, and also if let feature for breaking optional chaining. So here you can use this power, and you can load this weapon in your pocket as a swift learning. So if let like name email is there, so email will be this, and that will be, if email is there, then how I can just break the optional chaining. How I can break the optional chaining, like user is also a optional person, and the email is also a optional. And then if something is there and perfectly email is there, it is not nil, then it will come here like yes, value is there, value is there, right? Value is there, and I can just print this value here like this. And else if value will not there, then I can just say value is nil, right? So print value is nil, right? And you can just print the value as well. So what you can say, like user and email as well, right? So now I'm doing this experiment, and I can just do this like that way. If something will there, then it's fine. Otherwise, like you need to print no value, right? This is saying like these two question mark is saying if something will be there, then it's fine. Otherwise we'll print something else. So it's a synonymous of this operator. Like if a variable is okay is there, and I'm just making it as a false, and now I want to give a condition like whether like I want to see uh, uh, the task, like I want to change the variable email of this particular user detail. So if I can use this user dot name, user dot email can be depend on is okay. If everything will be is okay, then what I need to do, I can just do a question mark, and if everything will be okay, then I will print write @gmail.com. And if something will be wrong there, then what I can do, I can just print uh, wrong, right, @gmail.com. So like that you can use this thing, but it is pretty uh, uh, hectic for us. So what we are doing, we can just say like if value will be not there, if value is not there, then with the double question mark operator we can just say some value will be there, and we'll print this no value, right? So printing no value. Now if you will run this, a is there, so yes, value is there. But if what will happen if value will not there, then what we can say, we can just do like this, value is nil, so printing no value, right? So like that you can handle and you can just break the optional chaining without implicitly unwrapped. So we will be secure over there rather than just forcing it and just printing it like implicitly unwrapped. We can just use this if let keyword, right? And which will not harm us once value will come nil, right, in these cases. So that was all history about the optional and implicitly unwrapped. Now this guard keyword, so fifth and third I covered it up. Fourth is guard keyword. So if let I understood, and if let we define, like how we can just check the values if values are nil, right? So if I have a class a and same value variable is there, name, and string is available, and this is an optional string again, and if it have value then it's good thing, right? And if it doesn't have any value, then we can stop it through the guard as well, right? So the best thing is there, like automatically like suggestions are coming there. Transfer control out of scope if one or more conditions are not met, right? So this is a guard, and one guard is like that, it's on conditional base, right? So if something is there good, then you can proceed like that. Otherwise, like you can give some print, right? So like if I have two object like where a which have a 5, and where b which have a 10, and if I want to make a condition here, like condition will be a is greater than b, uh, then I can just proceed through, you know, proceed further. Otherwise I can just tell a fatal error will be there, and that fatal error can say you, yeah, something is wrong there. Something a is b is greater than a, so we are not proceeding further, right? And we are start, guard is there. So guard is there, so guard is saying like if b value will be greater, then I will not proceed further, right? So I'll not proceed further, right? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So the fatal execution will say, yeah, it is because 5 is not a greater a was not a greater than b, so error is coming, and error is saying it interrupted, and fatal error came because, you know, uh, the left point, this a value is less than b, right? So like that, conditional base guard is this one. And now I want to check the if let guard, right? Same like if let guard let is there. So let is a constant variable. Here we can just define the guard like that. If you want to check a let constant, like my name is, you know, my name is I'm just creating a object here and just doing the name. If my name will be there, then it's fine. Otherwise I'll return like I'll return from here, and I'll return from here. And sorry, my phone is ringing again and again. Yeah. So if like yeah, like here, if name will be something, then I'll proceed further and execute my code, and guard will allow me to proceed for further next line number 25 or 26. Otherwise it will return from here only. And what it is saying, like return invalid outside of function, right? So if I I want to check like whether it is outside of function or not, return is there, and return is outside of function. It is saying inside some function you can use this. So func, suppose testing guard, and you can use this thing into a function, yeah, into a function, like yeah. So that function will return from here in the else case, and other stuff will not execute, right? Will not execute if name will be nil. right? So like that you can just use this guard, and it's a very powerful thing as well. Value name was defined but never used. Yeah, we know that if something will be there, then you can use this, like print, and name will be there. And now I want to test this function. I want to test this function as well. So I'm just testing this function as well. So if name will be like that, and I'm just testing this function here. So testing guard. So testing guard is going like till line number 29. It is saying iOS. If iOS will not there, then it will say some line. I will print stop here. So like that we can save. Or one more thing I want to tell you, like by selecting the everything through the command like cmd plus a, you can just select all, and then if something is bad over there in your code, then command a plus control I will change your code and it will be perfect over there, right? So command a is select for select all, and command control plus I will uh, correct your bad code, like whatever you are writing and it is not in discipline and it's not looking good, then control I will make it perfect, right? So that these things, these shortcuts also you should aware about all the things. Now if I will print again, it will say me like, yeah, nothing is there, so I'll stop here, right? Like that. So hope you understood these points. So number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, that is covered. 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, that I need to cover, right? So stored property, that is already covered, like where name equals to something. So it is saying I'm storing a value after equal operator, right? So it's a stored property, simple. It's a stored property, right? Now, what is a lazy stored property? That I want to tell you. Like into the heap, like this is a good question. Like once if something like something into the memory, uh, one class is created already. This class have lots of features, lots of variables, and those are not calling uh, in some functions. Those are already called, right? So why we should declare them into the heap as well, right? We should not declare till till they will not use by the developer, right? So by these cases you can just declare these kind of properties as a lazy, like whether it will work or not, whether it will useful or not, right? So class A, suppose I have a property where name, and that can be a string, and it is good, right? And name is a iOS, and now where version is there, right? So version, if I'm not using the version, I can just declare it as a lazy, right? And lazy will ask you like, hey, if you are creating me lazy, then give me some value, otherwise I will not create, right? So lazy property must have an initializer. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So version can be a iOS 14.3, right? So that can be the version. So now what I'm just doing here, variable a, and a will be there, and a object I'll create, and I'll use the print a dot name. So till now, if this initializer, we initialize the things, but this is not into the heap, it is not coming into the heap, into the memory management till that, like when it will not use, right? If I will use this, now I am going to use this, right? Now I am going to use this. That means I am going to use this property now, and at this moment it will go and just initialize into the heap, right? Otherwise it is somewhere outside and it is not into the memory. That is called lazy. So lazy variables will declare lazy stored properties will come into the heap once they will utilize and they will use, right? Developer use them, otherwise they will not initialize, right? Till that moment. We'll check like what are these three things, right? These three things are computed property for stored value with get and set. Okay, so computed property, that means I'm computing something, right? So I have some value which I want to compute. So for this, it will not depend on its own value. If you will try to do with own value, then it will give you crash. So it will call recursively and it will crash, right? So I want to tell you how, like, the example. Suppose I have uh, I have I, I have first name simple and the last name, and one is full name, right? So how I can use this as an example of computed property? So class A will be there, okay, and now I have a variable first name which will call string first name is a iOS, and the variable, these are stored property. So last name will be a string and equals to, it will be a coder. Now I'm just trying to learn the computed property, right? So this computed property will be look like this. I'm computing something, right? So I'm computing something and I'm getting some value from others, right? So I'm computing, right? So variable full name will be a computed property rather than stored property, right? This is pretty simple, right? So into the string I'll do like this, and get will be tell me like I can get some value, and set will be tell me like I can set some values, right? Not in full name, I can just do something else also, missing the return in function expected to the return string. So you can just imagine, if you are just forgetting somewhere and you are not uncomfortable with the Swift at new time, just try to learn and just explore the error, right? You will love it because on each step it is guiding you, right? So I'm getting some value like first name and plus my last name, so that will be the result, right? So from other properties I'm getting some result also, right? So setting full name. Now if I want to set some full name, like I want to set some value over there, so some set new value will come over there, and that new value, if I'm just setting this new value to something else, right? So full name is there, and one another property is also there, uh, which will uh, which will be like variable welcome string, right? And that welcome string can be a string, and it can be a hi, hi will be there or something like that. Then it will concat over there as a welcome screen. Welcome string will be now welcome string plus space or something like comma space plus a first name and first name only, right? So first name like that. So you can just, you are changing a welcome string, you are just getting some values from other things as well, right? So you are changing others, not yours, right? So it's a completely uh, changing something into other value, other property, store property or something else, and also it's getting some result from other people, right? Other properties, right? So nothing it have, it's only a bracket in between properties, and it is changing some values over there and it's getting some values from other properties, right? That is the thing. So that is called computed property, right? So once you will do something like that, like let a, and if you want to create a object, and over there like you will if you will this is a variable, that's why if you will change something then it will go and just set there. So and then like I want to tell you like a dot full name. If I will try to change something, right? So I'm sorry, this first value you can just change by the new value. So full name, like I'm just changing like uh, Java code or something like that, and then I'm just printing welcome string, a dot welcome string. And before also I want to print this at line number 37, then I'll see what are the difference, right? What are the difference? So hi is there, now hi Java coder is there through this full name. So I'm changing full name, but it is affecting to the welcome string as well, right? So you are pinching somebody else, and somebody else is changing over there. So changes can occur by the computed property to other properties, right? And same like that, if you want to get something, then get will be other result like print and a dot full name. So what is my full name? It is a iOS coder, right? iOS plus coder, right? So if you will make something like that, it will work like that. So that is the thing. So computed property is useful to change some values in other things by setting it, and other properties, and also you can just use to get some values from other properties. You can just get this, right? That is the thing. Like we can just use the example of computed property like that. So if you want to change some values in other properties, you can just use the computed property. Also, if you want to get some result from other combination of stored properties, you can do this, right? Now the read only computed variable declaration with get keyword only, how it will be uh, work over there. So if you will not use the set, and if you will go like that, right? And if you will do something like iOS coder here, and I'm sorry, this one you don't require, and only like that if you will do, then what will happen, once you will try to declare something, it will give you error. Hey, listen, cannot assign to property full name is a get only property, right? No setter is there, right? That's why it is giving you the error. So that's all. Like read only computed property also clear. Now we can just proceed for the number 10th, and this is our final thing, which is covering our all the aspects of declaring a variable and its properties into the Swift, right? So there you are good to go and fantastic to declaring any variable properties very nicely. So computed read only, computed property, observer variable properties, stored properties, right? Guard, if let, optional, those things are completely clear here, right? So now related to these, you can just uh, answer all of these things now very nicely, right? So observer variable declaration is nothing, it's very simple. Like class A is there, okay? I have a property which is a stored property where name, and it's a string, right? And string, I'm just declaring string, I'm doing nothing, I'm just doing here like I'm just observing this property as, right? So I have some property like iOSCoder, I gave some value as a like that. Also I want to observe this. How I want to observe, like when something will set over there, then it can inform me, right? It can inform me, yeah, print, I'm going to set new value, right? New value, right? And I can just print this name as well, right? Print myself as well, right? And also didSet will be there. I changed, I'm done already, and value changed, right? Value changed. So now what, if you want to do some stuff before your value update in this property, right? Do it here. Rest, like you can just do something after the setting of value inside this property, right? It can be useful like if you are just doing some transaction and this is a payment receipt string, then like before the payment you can just do some stuff, after the payment you can do the stuff, right? So sensitive information and sensitive values and everything you can just look around there. And this is a willSet and didSet is a observer pattern into the variable property declaration, right? This property declaration, so it is coming on the store property and you are just watching this property, you are observing this property. So suppose let a equals to, this is a class, so I can just create, you know, class object, and I can just modify the name as well. Name, right now I'm just changing this name and you'll see something will print over there. So a dot name, now from iOS coder to Java coder I'm just doing it. Now I will run this and you'll see I am going to set new value. Still it is a iOS coder, right? It's not changed. So whatever you want to do, you can do it. You have the chance to changing something, so you can just do that code here before like updating this value, right? Value of this property, right? And after then it called I'm done already and value changed, and this is now Java coder, right? So like that you can observe the property and you can do big things over there, and your logics and this dynamic approach will proceed further. On that time we'll increase our logical thinking, and we'll use this property frequently, so you will be familiar over there. So for this session, like today's session, it's completely okay for now. Like 2.2.3 variable declaration is swift is completed, and congratulations, like you covered this section, this 2.2.3. Now in further we'll understand like what are the data types, and like how briefly we can just understand, right? It's not like that we are just focused over there and we are just doing some like okay, something is there. I want to make you strong over there in iOS software programming. So whatever I have and whatever I am just learning, I'm sharing with you. So if you really like this session, then please just inform to others as well. It's whatever I'm just doing. So please share it as much as you can, and just try to share it to your friends and family. And thanks for watching this. In next time, like we'll come with the data types. Thank you so much.